Hi guys. If you're confused about this background and it not looking like my usual background, it's because it isn't my usual background. I moved for uni, so this is my dorm. It's not a dorm, but it's a studio. Um, I'm directly across other houses, so if any of these people open their curtains or their blinds, they can definitely see me, but I feel like I have the nicest light. Behind this dresser, this is my bed. It's a high rise, like it's a sleeper, like a high sleeper, I don't know what to call it. And this is my dresser. And then behind that, I have a couch. And I thought that could be cute, but it's kind of dark. It's kind of like a cozy little corner, but it gets kind of dark. So here I have the most light, and I still think it looks kind of cute because my knitting stuff is over here as well. It was very hard for me to decide. I didn't use my mic. I have to use my mic. I'm sorry. The beginning few minutes are gonna be shit. I'm sorry, I didn't use my microphone. Okay, we're using my microphone now. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, it was very hard for me to decide what knitwear or like what stuff I would take with me. So I kind of have double needles of everything. So I took 1.4mm, 1.5, 1.3, etc. I took one darning needle, I took a little pair of scissors, and I took one of my like measuring tapes. And I feel like that's gonna be enough, but I'm not like sure. But we'll figure it out. I'm just so excited to be here, and I'm so excited that I could go to bed tonight up there, which is really cool. But the reason why I'm filming this now is because my boyfriend is coming over tonight to sleep over here for my first night too. But I'm still having dinner at home tonight, and I'm picking up a screwdriver there because I was actually supposed to do a couple of things, like install a chair, install a table, and install a lamp, but I did that one. But because I didn't have a screwdriver, I tried using scissors for a second, and now I have a cut in my finger. So we're not trying that again. Anyways, I have a lot to talk about. I have a lot of fun things. But the problem is that I don't have everything with me. One of my whips is at my boyfriend's, so I'm going to ask him to bring that with him. And 2 yarns that I got are also at his place. So let's just start with what we have. Let's start with the finished whips. Since it's only been 3 weeks, there's not that much stuff that I've actually finished. The first one is definitely the most exciting one. I hope you will still hear me pretty well if I put it here. This is a little cardigan that I designed, which I'm calling the Pearly and Pink cardigan, which is a play on pretty and pink, if that's even like a real saying. I don't know, Pearly and Pink just sounded cute. Initially, I wanted to make an oversized cardigan. That didn't happen. Now it's a cropped cardigan, which is actually quite fitting, but the sleeves, I did kind of like the blouse number 1, where you decrease and then you increase a little bit to create this kind of bell shape. And I also tried out this new technique on how to cast off my sleeves without the edges rolling up. I added buttons and a very small neck edge because I thought that would be the cutest. And then about 4 or 5 centimeters of rib. And I added buttons, but I like closing it just here. I added 3 buttons just because I did not have enough of these cute purple buttons. I didn't have 4, which was what I wanted to do originally. So now I only have 3. But I am writing a pattern for this. And in the pattern, I'm going to include that you need 4 buttons because that just looks better, and then it closes better too than just having 3. So yeah, I am writing the pattern for this. I just nicked my thumb. I'm trying to get 6 sizes from an XS to an XXL, following the same measurements for like your bust and stuff that Petite Knit does. I just keep her kind of as my reference because sometimes I don't really know how to label an XS, like what chest size. But because I feel like Petite Knit is just like the biggest designer out there, I'm gonna like compare it with her. And because this is a rather daunting thing for me to design, like it's easy for me to freehand a sweater, but it's the designing part of it which is really scary for me. The math of it all, trying to figure out like, okay, I increase the body, but will the sleeves be too small? Will they be humongous? I don't know. So I have written everything down for the pattern, hopefully. Layout is not really great yet and all that, but I will be looking for testers. So hopefully this podcast will be out pretty soon and I won't have chosen any testers yet. So if you feel like applying, let me know in the comments and I'll send you some info via Instagram. And because it is a sweater, it's multiple sizes, it's a little scarier than just gloves or a hat, which are the type of patterns that I've done before. I do feel the need to test this out because I'm not sure. I mean, I hate having to send it out for testing because it just takes so long and I don't have a huge following. And the previous time when I tried to work with testers, the first 5 of them ghosted me and never responded, never made anything. And then TikTok came to my rescue and people applied there and helped me out. But so I hope this time, if I post it on TikTok for immediately, I hope to find some more people for every size, and so that I will get some more results and test results. And I feel like testing also kind of works, like if people post what they've made, it kind of helps you advertise your own sweater. Now, what I think is the cutest about this is I had the idea that I wanted to make a sweater with something on the back or on the front. And so with this one, I don't know if you can see it, but I put up a bow image and I embroidered that with some thick cotton because I wanted the colors to be pretty similar. So like a bubblegum pink it's both bubblegum pink, I feel like, but one of them is a little more saturated than the other. And I just felt like if I changed the yarn type, the contrast would be a little bit more clear because the sweater itself is in this pearly pink, but a bit of a fluffy yarn, whereas the bow is just coarse cotton. And in the pattern, what I tried to do is explain where to begin the pattern, like verbally, like talking you through it for every size, and then just having the color work chart on the bottom where you can refer to how to continue. I personally stopped halfway because I found that the intarsia / the color work was too distracting for me when I was trying to write down every single step what I did for the pattern. So I ended up like halfway through using the duplicate stitch to embroider it on just so I could focus on the sweater itself, like the cardigan itself first and foremost. So yeah, hopefully I will get this out by like October, late October, something like that. It is a fast knit. It's made on 5mm needles. It goes by really quickly because it is cropped and it's not oversized that much. And I just love that the sleeves are a little looser. I am going to block it though, because the sleeves are a little shorter than I wanted them to. I want them to reach like up to here, something like that. So I'm going to have to block that, but I have in the pattern changed it to 2 or 3 centimeters longer than what I did originally. So don't worry about that if you ever want to try this pattern. Okay. That's that. I'm going to keep this on and I'm going to grab my second finished whip. This one you haven't seen yet in a previous video. This is just something that I made only last week. Okay. I don't feel like editing much, so I just put all of my stuff up there. I have this bonnet that I made. It is a bonnet. Okay, wait, that was a bad introduction. I bought some yarn. I was in Slovenia. Jesus, my storytelling is horrible. I was in Slovenia last week with my boyfriend, and I was kind of wondering if they had any like yarn stores because it's not a highly populated country. It's not densely populated. Cities are really small, but we were in Bovec, which is like a hiking town where people can go rafting and kayaking and all that. And we went into a sports store because I saw a skein of yarn in the window, and I went in there and I got some yarn. I don't remember on the top of my head what the yarn type was called, but I'll insert it. I tried looking it up, but I couldn't find any information about it. Turned out it was not Slovenian wool, but it was Spanish wool. But I still loved it. I got this dark chocolatey brown, and because it is 100% wool, some like white fibers and stuff shine through. Now, the reason I made a bonnet is because I was, first of all, too lazy to make a hat. Second of all, because I wanted to try out this pattern that my boyfriend suggested. I showed him the honeycomb stitch, like the honeycomb cable, and I thought it would be super cute to make like a hat or a bonnet with that. And he said, yeah, but it's going to be too much. Like, try alternating it with some regular stitches. And so that's what I did. So the honeycomb stitch takes up 8 stitches, then I had 2 purl stitches, and then 6 regular stitches to create this lovely pattern. And to not take any focus off of the cable work, the edging I did around the top and the bottom is just an I-cord edge and not a rib, because I feel like a rib would take away too much of the splendor of the cable pattern. I feel like a lot of bonnets that I see, they start their square on the back of the head, which a previous one that I've made also has that, but I wanted the cable to start on the top and then continue on the round. Like, I wanted the cable to go all the way around like this, and if I started it like this, the cables, the ones here, would go horizontally and not vertically, and I did not want that. I'm not going to put it on for you right now because I have my hair up in a thing. I still have to block it, and I do feel like it looks kind of like a rugby scrum cap or a water polo cap or like a background actor in Shrek I've seen wearing this, or like a World War I fighter pilot and who has like big goggles. That's what I feel like it looks like because it's brown. But it is so cute. It is so cute. I posted it on my Instagram. People really liked it, I feel like. So I'm also making a pattern for this. I've kind of already written stuff down, but it's on my phone, it's on my iPad, it's on paper, so I just have to gather all that, and I hope to finish that too today or tomorrow. I'm not going to send this baby out for testing because I just feel like there's not much I can do wrong with it, and I just want to get it out as fast as possible for the fall. So let me know if you like this as well. Now, I didn't bring 2 of my whips. The reason why is because the first whip that I also showed in the previous podcast is the chestnut sweater, the one that I'm making with Malabrigo Rios, in the color lettuce. I did not advance that much, I think, from the last time you saw me because I did not take it with me to Slovenia. I took this baby with me to Slovenia, and that's why it's finished. The chestnut sweater, currently I am struggling with the collar. You need to knit 24 centimeters of 1x1 rib on 3mm needles, I'm pretty sure. After about 8 centimeters of that, I gave up and switched to a 3.5mm because I felt like the 3mm ribbing was looking too tight. I didn't like it, so I changed it up a bit to 3.5, and that's going by faster. It's easier on my hands, like it's not as harsh on my joints, and I just feel like that was a good idea. But that one is currently at my boyfriend's place, so I'm going to ask him to bring it over for me. Then I also started like 3 rows of one of the sleeves on that sweater just because I was getting so tired of doing that ribbing. Excuse me. But yeah, we're making progress, but very slowly on that one. And that's literally all I have to say about it. Now, the second one I forgot to bring with me because it's still at home. But I didn't have room left in my bag because I brought all of the yarns I want to show you that I bought. So I left that one at home. But for my cousin, who I've promised like 2 years in a row I would knit her something for her birthday and never did, I'm knitting her a sweater. She saw a crochet sweater with Miffy's face on the front on TikTok, and she asked me if I could make that for her, but I suggested that I would knit it for her because personally I use a lot like 30% more yarn when you're crocheting a sweater. It's heavier, it droops more, it's not as elastic, and I just don't like the look of it. I told her, like, if you knit it, it just looks more professional in my opinion, just because most sweaters are machine knit and not crocheted. So we kind of sat together and brainstormed because at first she was like, I want a balloon sleeve sweater. I want it to be tight and then like be wide at the bottom and then get tight really fast. Okay, we're back. We're kind of charged. I do not remember where I left off. That vocal fry was awful. In the meantime, by the way, that I've been charging my camera, I actually put together my coffee table. Turned out, did not need a screwdriver for that. I only need a screwdriver for that fucking bar stool that I want to put next to my vanity. Anyway, I'm going to make it quick because my mom is expecting me for dinner in a little while. So I was talking about the bonnet that was finished. Oh, I was talking about the sweater for my cousin. So we were brainstorming, I think is where I left off. And I told her, get a knit sweater. We can do a balloon sleeve. Don't you worry. But then she was saying, I want it to be a little chunky, but not that chunky that you have holes in it. And I was like, okay, 5.5 millimeter. That's like my go-to for a little bit of that. 5, 6 maybe. But then I was thinking drops alpaca. No, I was thinking drops Nepal or drops, there's another one. One of the two drops. Drops Nepal, drops Lima. I was thinking drops Lima, but she was like, I don't want anything heavy or like harsh. She was like, I don't want anything dense or heavy. And she wanted something fluffy, but not itchy. So she wants chunky with no holes, but she does not want drop Lima. She wants it to be fluffy, but not mohair because that's itchy. So I was Googling a little bit, and we came down to drops air. Perfect. It's alpaca, so it's warm. It's light, so it's not heavy, obviously. And it's not itchy, but it is fluffy because it's insanely soft. And we just got this natural, like, normal white. It was just white, I think, the color. I don't know. And I got about, like, 7 balls of that, and I bought some 5.5 millimeter needles because I didn't have those, believe it or not. And then we were just left with what kind of sweater. First, we were thinking about something that I drafted myself, but because she's not, like, that knowledgeable in, like, the idea, like, what's raglan, what's a drop shoulder, what's a set-in shoulder, what, like, ribbing, what's this kind of neckline, what is a turtleneck, what is a boat neck, you know, those kind of things. So let's look at Petite Knit's site. She has very simple patterns, she has very everyday patterns, very basic. And so we landed on the weekend sweater. It's fluffy. It was white, it was fluffy, it gave her a good visual of what would be the closest to the sweater that she saw, and I said, I can do this and make it into a balloon sweater, like balloon sleeve if you want. We also looked at the actual balloon sweater, but we went with the weekend sweater at the end. She decided that she wanted those wide sleeves that the weekend sweater has. The only thing that we're going to change is the collar. We're going to make it a little bit more narrow because this one, just like the Louvre sweater, because it's not folded or it's not like a turtleneck, like a folded turtleneck. It's just like a very high crew basic. It's a turtleneck, but not a folded one. But it goes out pretty far up to like your shoulders. And so what I did is I picked up more stitches on the shoulders so that it would be a little bit more narrow, but her head would obviously still fit through it. So I don't have it with me, as I said, but so far I've worked the back yoke and then the 2 shoulders, and I have about 15 more centimeters to go before I connect the body, like before I connect the back and the front. So definitely not much. We're just like getting started on the yoke, but it's going by fast. But again, I didn't work on it because I didn't take it with me to Slovenia because I was working on this baby. So hopefully you will see that in like 2-3 weeks. You will see the next one. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. And it's going to be super soft, and I'm going to want to keep it for myself, but I can't. But I would love to, but I can't. Then I think that's pretty much everything that I have going on right now whip-wise. It's not that much, which is good because I'm starting uni again, and I want to start drawing again, so I don't want to feel overwhelmed with a bunch of knitting stuff. Now, let's get on immediately. Let's get on to the yarns that I bought. A while ago, the chestnut sweater I'm making with Malabrigo yarn because they gifted me the yarn in exchange for some TikToks, which I'm still working on the wand for the chestnut sweater, but that's coming. And the second package that they sent me got lost in the mail, back and forth and this and that. And I finally got it. And the one that I got was washed. I got washed in 2 different colors, and I don't remember the names, but I have the skeins for you right here. Let's see. Okay. So, I got both different colors are washed. The first color is Valentina, which I absolutely adore. I did not know this was going to be, it's worsted. It is used for 4.5 to 5.5 millimeter needles, and it is 100% superwash merino, but it is, what do you call it? I don't know how to say it. It's one ply, I think, that you call it. It's one ply. But it is this beautiful purple with white. It's this pastel. It's super soft. I've never worked with one ply like this before, but I think it's going to be beautiful because it is 100% merino wool and it's super wash, which is also great. And when I chose this one, I was like contemplating, I was sending text to my boyfriend, like, what color should I choose? I don't know. I don't want to be boring, but I already got like a green. Should I get like a purple? So I got this one, and I'm going to make the sweater number 26 with it by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I don't know. It's the one with a saddle shoulder, because I don't own anything with a saddle shoulder, and I have never made anything with a saddle shoulder, so that could be interesting, and it's still very minimal. I did not, because Malabrigo yarns are hand-dyed, they are kind of uneven, so I did not want to make anything with like a texture or like cables, like the Storm sweater, the Ingrid, Moby sweater by Petite Knit, any of that. So I decided to go with a plain, big, oversized sweater, and we got Valentina. And she's beautiful. Then with the second one, we kind of went with a risk. It is risky. And I must say I like the color less than I had imagined. So I'm not sure yet what I'm going to make with it. But I got Rosalinda, which is the same type yarn. But this one has purple, yellow, pink, orange, some green, pink. I already said pink. It has a lot of different colors. I feel like pink is kind of the overwhelming amount of the color, but it feels kind of 2014 somehow. I don't know. It feels like it's too much. And so I don't know what I'm going to make with it. I got a sweater amount of this yarn as well. And so I might just like freehand something, because I don't know. I feel like when I freehand something, I use yarn that is not as close to my heart. Like this one, it was really cheap yarn, because I didn't want to spend like my beautiful yarn on a freehand project that might then turn out bad, like with this one. So I don't know, I could make a second cardigan of this one in this color, but I have something in mind that I kind of want to make. I want to make like a tight saddle shoulder sweater that is kind of like a shirt. So I might try that out with this yarn. That could be interesting. But it's so buttery soft. I've never worked with a one ply. That's going to be like the most exciting part of it. But I'm still really happy that Malabrigo sent me all of this, which I think is amazing. Okay, on to the next one. I think, so I have this one, and then I have two more yarns at my boyfriend's place that I'm just going to show you later. This one I got when I was shopping for some yarn for, I should give you some, I was shopping for yarn for someone I was going to meet in Slovenia. I was going to meet up with Niterina, who is called Katerina. But, if you follow me, you might as well, you're following her, Niterina, and she lives in Slovenia, and we were planning on meeting, but she turned out to be sick, and so I did not bring the yarn that I got for her. Like, I don't know if she would have even liked it, because it was kind of crazy yarn that I got for her. I got 3 skeins of like this crazy fluffy yarn, which I will show later because I'm keeping it for myself now. But when I was in the store, I also got this. The reason why I was getting her yarn is because a store near my boyfriend's house sells Belgian yarn. This is a Belgian brand, Anel. Anel stands for Andre and Nelly, which are 2 names. But I got this for myself. This is the Anel Fiene, which is 53% acrylic, 43% of cotton, and 4% of polyester. So it is more like a summer fiber, but it has, the main color is this, I don't know what you call it, like like peas in a pod. That's what I mean. Peas in a pod green, and then it has tiny strands of light blue, light pink, and like normal blue wrapped around it. I don't know if this is focusing. I can't see that, so we'll figure that out later. And it is for like 3 to 4 millimeters. And I was thinking of making a June top with this. I only got 3 of these skeins because I wasn't sure if I was going to make anything with it, but it was just such a cool color, and I wanted to get it before they exchanged their yarns for the winter. So I got this. Pretty sure I'm going to make a June top with it because I see people using like Noro with it, but Noro is too expensive for me. I'm getting kind of tired of talking, and I feel like I have to rush because I have to go home for dinner. But yeah, I also love this color. I'm trying to get kind of out of my comfort zone with the type of yarns I use because I'm not like a huge fan of making very complicated sweaters, although I love Aran jumpers. But I just saw this and I felt like, if I like it like in an instant, why should I justify getting it if I just feel like deep in my heart it makes me happy? Because sometimes I feel like this looks childish. Like my bedding, it has different color polka dots on it. And I feel like it's childish, but I love it. And it's beautiful, and if it makes me happy, then that's fine. And that's how I feel about this yarn. It's kind of a weird color combination and maybe not that fashionable, but I love it, and that's what's important. So I'm going to leave it at that. The other types of yarn that I have one more yarn type, like yarn brand from Slovenia, but I'm going to show you that later. It's like the most coarse wool, actual Slovenian wool from Maribor. And I got one skein, which is about 350 meters. And I want to make some new mittens with that because I have Raynaud's disease, which sounds very serious, but it's not. It's called like a disease, but I never say that. But in the winter time, my fingers, or like when I go swimming, or really like if the wind is too cold, my fingers will turn white. And all my blood vessels close in my fingers and my toes, and I won't feel them. And they'll be like white as if I'm a corpse, not like, ooh, you seem cold. No, my it's like inhumane white. And then I won't feel my fingers, and then it's really annoying. So because I bike everywhere, I used to wear these mittens from my great-grandmother that were made of bunny leather or like sheep or something. Like the outside was leather and then the inside was fur. And they were the only mittens / gloves that would keep my fingers warm. Nothing else would. But now I got this crazy ass Slovenian wool that people apparently use to make hiking socks and mittens and all that. I want to try it, and it's really coarse. The yarn is really coarse, so I feel like making anything else with it would be really uncomfortable, but it would be fine on my hands, you know? And I have some ideas how I can make the colors pop a little bit more because I got it in a very neutral color. I got it in this cream white, and I feel like I'm going to make it really pop with some red, like red. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I think I might do the seams in red. Seems really weird, but I have an idea in my head for that. Yeah, and then the only other wool that I have at home at my boyfriend's is that crazy wool that I normally got for the girl in Slovenia that I don't know what I'm going to make with it. Might make a scarf because it's a really fun color too for a scarf or something like that. So we're going to have to continue this video, but I'm going to sign off for now, get dinner, come back here, and then spend my very first night in my apartment, which is so cool to say. So cool. Bye. Bonjour. It's the next day. I put on a cute blouse because it's sunny outside. It's my first morning in my studio. I call it my studio, which makes it sound like I'm like a textile designer. But, I mean, it's just what you call a small apartment. I just wound up the cool Slovenian yarn that I got because my boyfriend brought it over. Let me show you. So I was able to wind up 2 of these because one skein was 300 meters, which I don't know how many yards that is because they didn't put it on. It is white. They had more colors. Most of them were very natural. So there was a beige, a light brown, a dark brown. There was some sort of little bit of a pastel purple But I just got the natural white. They also had a different white from this. Oh, and they also had white mixed with red. I took pictures of it. I had seen this one in the store where I bought the brown one that I got for my bonnet, but I was thinking it's just too scratchy. Why would I do that? But then I saw it again in 2 other stores, and I was like, is this a sign? Is this a sign? Probably not, because they sell it everywhere. But this is the brand is, I think, called Soven Mariborska. Says that? No, that's just the address. It is organic bio wool. And it is 100% wool made in Slovenia. The only 2, like the info is in Slovenian and in German. All I can make out is that it's hand washed with 30 degrees. I might I don't know. Produkten aus Naturschaffenswolle werden bei gleichmäßiger Temperatur von max 30 Graden handgewaschen. Das überflüssige Wasser entfernt man mit dem Pressen. Oh, this is just about how to wash. I took German for 1 year, okay? I'm not good at it. Anyway, it smells kind of like bleach / like some sort of cleaning product. So I feel like maybe they bleached this in the process. It's very rough. And I said yesterday that I wanted to make mittens with this, and I do. But I want to make mittens, I'm going to knit them flat. All mittens I've made before, I made flat. I hate double-pointed needles, and I don't have short 5mm circular needles. So we're knitting this flat, and then instead of seaming them together, I'm going to crochet the sides together with red. I don't have red. I'm going to buy some red today. And with that, we're going to complete them. I think I definitely have enough for two mittens, and then maybe if I have enough, I'm going to make slippers with them, because the room temperature is still fine out here, but the floor is really cold. It's a wooden floor, but still my toes, because of the Raynaud's disease, get really cold, and I don't want to put on the heater yet. I don't want to spend money on that, because it's fine, but I do like to have slippers maybe to walk around in the apartment with instead of my shoes, because I take off my shoes when I go inside. So hopefully I can find something to make, like a pattern, like a cute little pattern to make slippers with, because I don't want to make socks, but I want to try and make slippers, because this is very thick and sturdy. This is for 4.5 to 5.5mm needles, I'm pretty sure. Or it doesn't say on here, but that's just kind of my assumption that it's for 5mm. So yeah, that's that. Then I because I don't want to edit, I put everything here. Oh, if you wanted to see the brown yarn in the packaging, the brand, this is the one that I made the bonnet with. The brand is called Shepherd's Own by Fibra Natura. It's 100% wool. It's 252 yards, 230 meters, 100 grams, needles 4.5 to 5.5. That's really all the info I have. This undyed all-natural wool is hand-sheared from herds of the Catalunya, Zaragoza, Castilla regions, which are known for their exceptional quality. So this is Spanish yarn and not Slovenian. Then my boyfriend brought over my chestnut sweater too, which I can show you if you want to. But here is the crazy yarn that I was talking about, that I got for Niterina, Katerina, who lives in Slovenia, but she turned out to be sick. If you're watching this is what I wanted to bring you. If you think it's very ugly, then good that I didn't bring it. But yeah, I got 3 skeins of this. Again, it's Anel, and I felt like if I'm gonna bring some yarn, I want it to be a Belgian brand, and I want it to be kind of like a special color. I'm not gonna just show up with beige. And I thought if I wanted to make something funky, I would definitely choose this. It is 44% acrylic, 32 polyester, 18 polyamide, and 6% mohair, so it is synthetic. But the base yarn is actually black, with the mohair around it is pink, and then it has polka dots on it. Polka dots in fuchsia, purple, dark blue, and orange, I'm pretty sure. I think it's really cool, and I think I'm gonna make a hat and a scarf with it, or maybe a scarf first, because it is really soft, and I think it's like a cool, funky color. So I got 3 of those right here. I don't know. I liked using Anel. I didn't know Anel was a Belgian brand, but it is. And I've used it before for the Moby sweater for my boyfriend, and I also got him some extra Anel because he said he wanted to learn how to knit, but then never really did. So it's still at his place. But yeah, I thought it was cool. Now I do feel like, because I couldn't bring this with me to Slovenia, and I bought wool in Slovenia, that I just have a lot of yarn that I want to get started with. But I don't have time, I'm working. My chestnut sweater and my weekend sweater for my cousin needs to be done first before I start doing other stuff. But then I feel like I want to start designing scarves and hats and slippers and mittens and little things. But if I because the amount of yarn I bought in Slovenia was 1 skein, 2 skeins, and then the crazy ones are 3 skeins. It's not enough for a sweater, so I have to use it for smaller projects, which are done faster, and I can write a pattern for faster, because I do want to focus more on making my own patterns this year. But that means that I don't get to work on my sweaters that much because I have very bad impulse control, and so I won't be able to put aside those little projects to work on my bigger projects that I have going on. To stop that little rant, I'll just show you my chestnut sweater progress, because I don't actually remember what I showed you. Okay, so I hope you can still hear me if my microphone is over here. This is what I have so far of the collar. This is not even half of it, or it is maybe half. But it's taking so long. I think about here, I switched over to the 3.5 millimeters because I was also scared. It looks really neat for 3 millimeters, but I was scared that if I was going to make it that narrow, my head wouldn't fit through it. So for the sake of my hands, my joints, I switched to 3.5 millimeters. And then I just attached my needles here on the side and made 3 rows for the sleeve. But there's nothing you can see. Oh, I don't know if this was the case last time. Oh no, my needle. But I finished the body. But about 3 centimeters before I started the ribbing, I changed skeins. And that one was significantly darker than the other one. So I have this drastic color change right here. It wouldn't have bothered me as much if it started exactly where the ribbing started, but it doesn't. So it's kind of annoying, but let's hope that when I wear it, it'll fold over my jeans or something like that, and then it wouldn't be as visible. It's just, it's a risk you take when using hand-dyed yarn, but that's, it's cool. I don't mind. And then yesterday when I went home for dinner, I brought with me, oh god, that ball is falling apart totally. Okay, I brought the weekend sweater with me that I was making for my cousin, so I can just show you where I left off. Yesterday on my bike, about half of the ball fell off of the actual whole thing, so I hope it doesn't get all caught up. So as I said, this is Drops Air. The body is not yet connected, but we made the back yoke and the front. So we have to make sure that the front measures 30 centimeters starting from where I picked up the stitches, and then going down, I can connect the armholes together, and then we work on. Because my needles are rather short, you can't really see how big it is because it is slightly oversized. I'm making it in a size S because my cousin has a bigger bust than I do. But still that I think an S could fit her well. And then, we're making some modifications. We're making the sweater a little shorter than Petite Knit did, just to maintain that boxy fit that she wants instead of more like a tube. And then the sleeves, we want to make narrow. And I made the neckline a little smaller, narrower, because we don't want it to go like the Louvre sweater or like the weekend sweater where it just, the ribbing starts here and then continues over here. So that's that. That's all I have for you today. I had a lot of stuff to talk about, which usually I don't. So hopefully I have my first classes tomorrow. So hopefully I will be able to knit a little bit so that in 2 weeks time I can give you another video. But until then, be on the lookout for my upcoming pattern for the Pearly and Pink cardigan. Follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Everything is Moses Inca. It's all the same. And you can purchase my patterns on Ravelry. Maybe I'll make an Etsy, but I say that in every video and then I never do. So just go to my Ravelry. Just go to my Ravelry. Okay, that was that. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.